Hi everyone, and welcome back to the MS Workouts channel. Are you trying to get your legs to lift higher so you can clear the ground when you walk? Well, if that goal is yours, then stick around because I'm going to guide you through a strength training exercise as well as a stretch that will help you improve your hip flexor strength and function so that you can have better mobility, especially when going upstairs. Now, before we move forward, I'd like to remind you that you only have a few days left to register for the Hip Flexor Immersive Workshop powered by MS Workouts. This is a 6-day event that's going to help you get your hip flexor stronger so you can clear your legs when walking. From this Thursday, July 6th to July 11th, all registered participants will receive daily emails from our team with activities that they need to complete by the end of the day. That means it doesn't matter where you are located in the world. Once you receive the emails, just execute those activities by the end of the day and you will see amazing improvements in your hip flexors. We will also be supporting you along the way through Q&As that are live in person with myself, Miss Jacqueline, who is a steady pace trainer and a part of our community, as well as our member support specialist, Mr. Lerner. So our whole team will be there, okay? So there are tons of ways to be supported and guided during this immersive workshop. To register for the Hip Flexor Immersive Workshop, just go to www.msworkouts.com or click on the link that's below this video and simply sign up by using your name and email. You don't need anything else, just your name and email. So again, just go to www.msworkouts.com or register here for that free, as I've mentioned, Hip Flexor Immersive Workshop. We're gonna get started promptly on July 6th, so make sure you do it before that date because I do not want you to get left behind. It's happened every single workshop that we've done, and unfortunately our big hearts have to be sad because someone just didn't do it in time. With all that being said, all right, got that out of the way. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you there. Let's go ahead and switch gears right now back into the present, which is this week's video, where I am going to help you right now improve your hip flexor function through this strength training exercise and stretch. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's get started with this exercise and stretch that's going to help you improve the mobility of that hip flexor and lift that leg higher. But before we start, I just want to remind you all that we will not be on YouTube next week with a video. I know, I'm sorry, but remember, we have that immersive workshop for the hip flexors. So if you want to engage us next week, sign up for free so that we can engage you live next week during a Q&A for the Hip Flexor Immersive Workshop. All right, let's do this. Okay, we're gonna hit that hip flexor exercise. We're gonna execute an eccentric unilateral hip flexion. Now, what we're looking to do, those of you that have been around the channel for long enough know, we're looking to reach muscle failure, overload this muscle in an eccentric manner. That is the lowering of the femur. Hip flexor brings the femur up. Okay, the lengthening of that hip flexor is the lowering of this femur. Now, depending on what your function currently is, you're gonna meet your body where it's at. Meaning, if you're not able to lift your leg up right now and hold it in position because of weakness in your hip flexor, then what you're going to do during the exercise set today is you're going to apply pressure at the end of your knee and you're going to attempt to lift that knee up, pushing down into the knee for the entire 10 seconds. If you are able to stabilize and hold knee and lower at 10 seconds or slower with no resistance, then you need to add resistance to the situation. What we're looking to do is reach muscle failure, which is gonna be the point where you can no longer continue to put the effort in and or lower at 10 seconds or slower. Let's do this. Now, I have a resistance here, okay? 25 pounds, I'm placing it on the end of my knee because I wanna make sure I'm exercising, not just moving. We're looking to challenge the body. If you don't have a resistance and or you have never been around the channel exercise, do not use a resistance. Use just your body weight. Let your body prove to yourself what you can do first and then start to add the resistance. How do you know? Because you're gonna record the outcome on your progress journal. Download the progress journal if you don't have one yet. Those who've been on the channel know and have one. All right, let's go ahead and do this. We're gonna put a clock on the screen as well. I'm using mine here. We're gonna go to the starting position and we're gonna hold at the top. Clock is on, we're holding at the top for 2 seconds, 1 second, and now 10 seconds or slower. So go slow, as long as it's a consistent range, because it's that time under tension, that engagement, and one, relax for 2 seconds. Now assist to the top, hold for 2. It's that time under tension resistance, initiate movement down. that accrues the exercise, okay? That is the exercise. You wanna go slow, make it challenging. For 3, 2, and 1, relaxing for 2. All right, coming back up, going into the third effort, going past 45 seconds, holding for 2. For 1, now as slow as we can on the way down. Muscle failure is the goal. That's the point where you can no longer continue with that original effort for those 10 seconds. Relax for 2, 1. This is great for hip flexor strength. 1 more second. Now slowly lengthening. It's gonna help you lift that leg going upstairs, getting out of the vehicle, car, lifting that leg up and over. Relax for 2 seconds. Whoo! 1 second, all the way up, going past 60 seconds here. For 2 seconds, 1, heading into the exhaust range. Now my hand's on the dumbbells, but I'm not holding the resistance. I'm just balancing it in on top, okay? Now I'm slowly starting to lose the ability to go 10 seconds or slower. Stabilize, hold, we're going past the 115 mark. Initiate movement down. So I'm gonna notate, okay? It was 107 on the clock. When I could no longer lower at 10 seconds or slow, I'm just notating that, okay? So I did it successfully, holding for 2. I'm not able to hold it up. Whew, done. Clock is rolling, we're close. We have about 15 seconds. Slow and controlled, done, right? Success! I did it. I reached muscle failure at the 107 mark, which meant I could no longer lower at 10 seconds or slower, right? I lost the ability to continue slow. That's perfect. I overloaded my muscle, and I know I sent a very clear signal. So what I'm gonna do, that was the right leg. I'm gonna write hip flexion, E for eccentric, right, and I'm gonna write 107, and then in parentheses next I'm gonna write 5, because it was the 5th effort when I reached muscle failure at 107. I'm gonna circle OK, because there's no need to increase the difficulty next time, because I successfully did it. Whether you were using just your hand and isometrically engaging for those 10 seconds or using resistance, it's super important to notate the time that you start to lose that ability to continue with that original best effort or output, okay? That's the signal we're looking for. That's success. I would like you to go ahead now, hit pause, execute this on the left side as well. Even if your right side is a lot weaker and that's the side that you're worried about, make sure you're working both sides. There's not only something called the carryover effect, which means you're gonna be positively affected on both sides, but also we wanna make sure your entire body is strong and you're not losing ground on any specific part of your body. If you're not exercising, the truth of the matter is, as time accrues, if you're not strength training, exercising, you will atrophy, okay? The older we are, the more years of experience we have, the quicker atrophy happens. So you need to be exercising to keep your body as strong as possible, especially around those areas that are affected. Now, once we've executed that strength training set, right, you're gonna be executing that 1 to 3 times a week on both sides. You can go into a stretch, right? And I'm gonna show you that stretch for the hip flexor right now. Okay. As I mentioned, after you execute the strength training exercise, what you're going to do is we want to now lengthen, okay? So we are going to execute a static stretch. You don't want a static stretch before exercise. You want to dynamically stretch before exercise. But post-exercise, you can statically stretch. There's blood flow to the area. And statically stretching is going to not only reduce spasticity, but add a pliable nature to the tissue so you can have better mobility in the hip flexor. So what we're going to do is you're going to stay seated, very easy to access, this stretch. What you're gonna do is you're going to we're gonna target the right side, take the right foot back, okay? You're gonna take knee down towards the ground. And what we're doing right here is we're extending the hip by taking the knee back, okay? And all you're gonna do is you're gonna take that, push that leg back as far as you can without discomforting any of the joints. You're gonna sit tall. I then want you to extend your right arm and I want you to lean back. Okay, as you start to lean back, you're gonna feel stretch, not only in your hip flexor, but a little bit in your quadricep as well too. But what we're trying to do is lengthen that hip flexor area. You should not feel tension in your low back at all. The more you can take your knee back and extend that hip, the better. So you can even rotate. If you have a rotating chair, you can kind of plant knee and rotate to get that good lengthened stretch. Lean back, right, even to the side. And anytime you're stretching, make slow, deliberate movements, okay, to make sure that you are elongating the muscle tissue in a mechanically sound position that's not going to irritate you, but get you the deepest stretch, okay? You're gonna hold that stretch from anywhere from about 30 to 90 seconds, slowly ease out, take the tension off. I would always suggest going back in for one more time, 30 to 90 seconds, right? That's gonna be enough time to let that neurological system relax, lengthen the tissue back out. And then you're going to switch and execute the opposite side. Again, because we wanna make sure you're stretching and exercising both sides. All right, let me know how you do with that exercise and stretch. These are tools that we are giving you to be able to utilize on a weekly basis. 1 to 3 times a week is usually a good cadence to strength train. It really depends on how high the intensity is and how well you're recovering. Make sure you're spacing out your strength training days with enough active rest recovery days to ensure that you are developing and super compensating in a manner that's going to give you the results to ultimately allow you to achieve what your goal is, which in this case is hip flexor strength, the ability to lift that leg when you're going upstairs, getting out of cars. Applying the understood principle and science is what's going to allow you to do it. As mentioned before I wrap this thing up, we're not going to be here next week, but you can find me next week at the Hip Flexor Immersive Workshop powered by MS Workouts. I'm going to be there live. Felipe will be there live. We're going to be giving a Facebook group live. Every single day you're going to get activities and exercises that are going to help you very deliberately strengthen those hip flexors. I look forward to seeing you all there. And if for some odd reason you're out of town, out of pocket, you can't make it, I'll look forward to seeing you, not next week, but the following week back on MS Workouts channel to continue strengthening that body. Take care. Our YouTube channel is a great place to start gaining strength, but if you want to get serious about reducing your symptoms and getting results, then you need to be on a weekly structured strength training program with other individuals just like you. And that's exactly what we offer at MS Workouts through our membership. Click the link in the video or below the video to learn how our membership can help you achieve your goals. And while you're on the website, make sure you sign up for the no-cost 7-day strength camp so you can experience how we can help you do the things that you love to do with more confidence. See you all next week.